Up their walls, so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Grand Rise and welcome to this wonderful Wednesday. Welcome to hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. Let's get our disclaimer in real quick before we get started. Good morning, bestie.
Female voice. Welcome to hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. All things said in today's show are alleged and for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are below the age of 18, we request that you leave the live now. Enjoy.
All right. Couple announcements to make before we get started. Marie, do you want to come up in the box? Couple of announcements. First thing I want to do is thank you all for your continued support for our show. Hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. That's the first thing I want to let you all know. Now, I also want to give you some information on how this thing works, because I know you hear us and we talk about the gifting goal, which is up here right now. It's a Sweaty Teddies. We're asking for 20 right now. Okay, so if you can help us meet that goal, that's great. Also, the importance of doing that and double tapping while you're in the live and commenting and engaging and things like that. The importance of that is that it gets us pushed into the FYP. It pushes us out in the algorithm. And this is the main reason my moderators and I actually do this type of show, is because we want to educate people who may not have known the undertone that goes on in the entertainment industry. I could just say music, but it's entertainment. It's across different things, right? And so this is why we do this. And it's why it's vital to share the live out and things like that. Like, even though we come together, right? We come together and we fellowship and we have fun and what we call family ship, and we have fun and all of that. You all still can help us out tremendously just by doing those things, engaging in the live, double tapping, gifting, sharing. Those are the things that we need, right, to help us get further out in the algorithm, higher up in the FYP, and that will allow us to reach a broader base of people to help enlighten, educate, and get a level of understanding. Second thing I want to talk about or make an announcement on, and moderators that's in here, we really got to stick to this. We got to make sure we stay fluent on this, because here's what I'm noticing by us, and I'm taking the blame for it myself. And so I need my moderators to stay on me as well. But here's what I'm noticing. We are spending far too much time of me talking. And when we invite guests up in a panel, we're allowing them to get long-winded, right? And so what I want to implement is that when we have a guest that's on the panel, we stick to the 2-minute time limit. We got to do that. And then if they are going to, or if they're talking to someone else or something like that, we give them 2 minutes. We let the other person get 2 minutes. Now, if it's a rebuttal, we're only giving 1 minute rebuttal. 1 minute. Each panelist will get 1 minute to have a rebuttal. And then after that, we have to move on. Hey, Bestie. I was asking, did you want to come sit in the box too? I didn't know if you wanted to, and I know you're at work probably. Okay. All right. No problem, love. You here. Um, so, okay. One more thing I want to add to that as well. If someone is talking, they're up here on the panel. Good morning, Rita. How you doing, Bestie? If a guest is speaking on the panel, all other people on the panel have to stay muted. Have to stay muted. And moderators, if you see any of your other co-moderators that's not in here, please share these new rules with them, because the reason why it's important, if we got to do it this way, because if not, then what's happening is I'm not able to broadcast our shows on other platforms because it's too long, right? I think yesterday's show was three hours. And don't get me wrong, I love the conversation. I love the familyship that we have. But we have to make sure we stay on our deen and get this, message out. And in order to do that and have it pushed out through different platforms, we've got to make sure we keep the show going in a timely fashion so we can fit it on all platforms that we got. That's right. It's got to get the word out. We got to get the word out. It's important. It's important. Now, we're going to start with the, of course, with Pop. I think we only did one segment of that. So we're going to pick that back up, do our 5 minutes, take a break, and add when I say take a break, you all know we're going to add a video in there, drop another video in there, switch up this algorithm. We'll come back to the Pop series, and then we'll close out with dropping another video in there to shake up that algorithm again, okay? All right, so I've talked to you long enough. We're going to get started. I'll find where we go. Okay, here we are.
Mass destruction.
The reason I keep insisting that there was a relationship between Iraq and Saddam and Al-Qaeda, because there was a relationship between Iraq and Al-Qaeda.
What did Iraq have to do with what?
The attack on the World Trade Center.
Nothing.
You know, what has been happening as we debate the number of troops, as we debate whether to withdraw, is also this continual debate over the intelligence leading up to the war. And I know you said you believe that it's wrong to question the motives or the honesty of administration officials, but I have a different question for you. If you had known that no weapons of mass destruction would be found, would you have advocated invasion?
I didn't advocate invasion.
You didn't?
No, I wasn't asked. If you read all the books and the things.
You weren't, but why weren't you asked? That's very puzzling.
Well, I'm sure the president understood what my views were, but as a technical matter, did he ever look and say, what should we do? Should we go do this or not do that? This is something that the president thought through very carefully.
Are you trying to distance yourself from the war with that?
Of course not. I agreed completely with the decision to go to war. And I've said that 100 times. And don't even suggest that.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, well, you know better. Look, the interesting thing to me about the pre-war intelligence is clearly it was wrong.
Every statement I make today is backed up by sources, solid sources. These are not assertions.
But would you have been for an invasion if we had known that?
The answer is probably yes.
Who else knew they were
Iraq,
lying?
one Democratic senator now says you can add the entire Intelligence Committee to the list. Dick Durbin of Illinois making the amazing claim on the floor of the Senate that while he and perhaps the 16 other members of that Intelligence Committee knew the administration was misleading the American public, he, perhaps they, kept quiet about it because due to his position on the committee, he had been sworn to secrecy.
A few hundred feet away from here, in a closed room, carefully guarded, the Intelligence Committee was meeting on a daily basis for top secret briefings about the information we were receiving, and the information we had in the Intelligence Committee was not the same information being given to the American people. I couldn't believe it. Members of this administration were in active heated
Sis
debate
said in the
over whether
classroom, the
aluminum
kids
tubes really
were
meant that the Iraqis were
reading
developing nuclear weapons.
type, read,
Some within the
but I
administration saying,
can't
of course not. It's
remember
not
the
the
rest.
same kind of aluminum tube.
Yep, I remember
At
that.
the same time
You said
that
that to
members of the administration were telling the American people to be fearful of mushroom-shaped clouds. I was angry about it. Frankly, I couldn't do much about it. Because you see, in the Intelligence Committee, we're sworn to secrecy. We can't walk outside the door and say, the statement made yesterday by the White House is in direct contradiction to classified information that's being given to this Congress. We can't do that. We couldn't make those statements. And so in my frustration, I sat here on the floor of the Senate and listened to this heated debate about invading Iraq, thinking the American people are being misled. They are not being told the truth.
Sis said, compartmentalize. Iran still has untouched oil reserves. Sis said our lease is almost expired in Saudi Arabia. I believe it was a 100-year lease. Caribbean Queen, good morning, Bessie. Welcome in. Let's start right there because he just put the map out. He just put the whole map out. He put the whole plan out. He let us know. We're going to stop it right there because we know how this particular platform acts. So we're going to change the algorithm. Oh, thank you for that, heart me. I appreciate that, Caribbean Queen. Remember, click on the orange heart above me. Make sure you do your daily goals on there and claim your points. Oh, before I go to the other segment, though, the second segment, remember the water cannons I was telling you all about on one of the shows we was talking about when our family went to the 16th Street Baptist Church. I found some pictures of the water cannons, and I'm going to put them up there so you can see them. There's one right there. You see what those look like? I mean, it's like it looks almost like military weapons, huh? So you can only imagine the pressure of the water coming out of those water cannons. There's another view of it. And that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. Bessie said, don't forget your sweetie. Let's see. Okay. I was reading the comments over here. Okay. And now that reef I was telling you all about, the window that we stood in front of, I couldn't find the picture where we were in front of it, standing in front of it, but this is what I was talking about when I kept asking my wife, did she have the picture with us standing in front of the bathroom window? This is the actual bathroom window that the BOMB actually detonated it at, and those 4 young girls, BLK girls, were in this bathroom when it went off, subsequently taking their lives. That's what I was talking about right there. That's it right here. All right, Bessie said we got 2 sweaty teddies. We need 18 more. Who's going to help us get those 18 more? I know y'all got it in you. And we just explained the significance and importance of that, right? All right, so we're going to go to our second segment. Which one do I want to... Which do I want to do? You know what? Why not? I'll go with this one. There was another one. Hold on. Seems I cannot find it. I'm not sure if it's going to let me pull that down. Oh, it's not. Okay, there we go. Pull it down just a little bit. All right, I'm going to put it right here. All right, so let's go to this. As you all know, yesterday in the hold on, UWU girl. All right, hold on. We're gonna bring up this guest. I'm not sure. Hold on. We'll bring up this guest. I'm not sure. I'm not following her. I don't know her, but we're gonna bring her up. you know how we get down, Bessie.
Hey, what's going on, sir? How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty
Welcome
good,
to
man.
hashtag I'm gonna say it.
Thank you, sir. Is this a debate panel, or are you like broadcasting something?
No, I'm broadcasting.
All right. You have a good day then. Thank you for letting me
All
on.
right. Okay, brother. No problem. Take care. Thank you. Okay. As you know, it passed yesterday to release the papers. We're gonna say the papers here, so we don't get in any kind of trouble. The papers. It was voted on 427 to 1, meaning 427 people wanted the papers to be released, and only one didn't. And I can't remember the person's that one. I can't remember his name, and that's not important. But anyways, for over a month and a half, maybe 2 months or so, the Cheddar Color Code leader has been adamantly doing all he can to prevent these papers from coming out. And all of a sudden, he does an about face and he says, okay, release them. Now, I want to make sure I let you all in on this. I'm going to tell you what to be looking for. The reason why he's saying go ahead and release them now, after fighting it tooth and nail to have them not be revealed, is because he's manipulated the papers. I'm telling you, I strongly believe it. I don't have facts. I don't have the facts on it, but that's my opinion. Sis, I love that name. My sister said Mike Grinder Johnson was caught in a lie on live TV last night. I caught that late night. I woke up in the middle of the night, started watching some things, and I saw that. Yes, he's nervous. He's nervous. He says he can release them at any time without any vote. Exactly. He could. He really could. And that's why is another reason why I say he has manipulated them, because he's trying to buy time to do it. They're talking about it's got to, go to Senate and things like that. But let me let y'all know something. Word on the curb is that somewhere in Virginia, they are currently scrubbing not only the cheddar color cult leader's name out of this, but any Republican that may have had something to do with this, as well as prominent leaders, prime ministers, and other dignitaries from other countries that are powerful and that the cheddar color cult leader bows down to. If their name's in there, allegedly they're being redacted as well. So that way, when you hear him say it's the Democrats, that's why he keeps saying that. Jenny said, remember those FBI agents who were erasing his name? Yes, I do. I do remember that. That was right after was telling him that his name was in there several times. So you see, people, I want to make sure we get this out there, because this is what's going to happen. This is what the whole change is about, of him saying is I'll sign it. It's only I have nothing to hide. It's being doctored. I honestly believe it's being doctored. I don't have the proof, but I have heard. I mean, it's from credible sources. The credible source being Jeffrey E.'s brother, Mark himself. So there's one more thing I want to point out before we start listening to the audio from this video. How does anybody else find it just a wee bit of ironic that when Jeffrey E. passed away or unalived himself, it just happened to be during the cheddar color cult leader's first term in office? And then one of the other people that is very significant in all of this, Virginia Giuffre, sorry. She unalived herself during the cheddar color cult leader's term now. I get it. I get it. Jenny said, just like J6, he blamed both on Biden. Yes, and was saying that Nancy Pelosi didn't call in the National Guard, but yet we see him calling them in to do crazy stuff, right? Like that. Rita said, yes, I always said her passing was very suspicious. Very, highly even. And you think about it, her brother and her sister-in-law have been on different shows and stated that no, this is not true. And yeah, I know the Republicans like to make sure they point out that in her memoir, she says that the cheddar color cult leader didn't do anything. He was always nice and all. Yeah, I know you're going to hang your hat on that, but this is what I need you to understand. Virginia's father worked at Mar-a-Lago. At a young age, she worked at Mar-a-Lago. Now, even if he didn't do anything to her, very well could be because he had a relationship with her father. I mean, a working relationship. Now, I know, now that we know what we know, we got to make sure we identify what type of relationship we're talking about when it comes to the Cheddar Color Cult Leader. Now that we know he likes blowing the tubas. But her father worked for the Cheddar Color Cult Leader at Mar-a-Lago and introduced her to him, right? But let's not get it twisted. We also remember Jeffrey E. saying in those emails that, of course, the Cheddar Color Cult Leader knew what was going on. He knew the girls were not the age of consent. And almost as if Mar-a-Lago was, I want to call it something else, but anyways, I'm not going to do that, was a breeding ground or a place for these women or girls, girls that weren't the age of consent to be sapphic from. And we talk about a fallout between the Cheddar Color Cult Leader and Jeffrey E. And I've heard that it was over some property or something in West Palm Beach. And on the surface, that sounds great. On the surface, that makes for great TV. However, when you stop and think about both men's actions, I almost think that the Cheddar Color Cult Leader probably got upset at Jeffrey E. for taking the girls that weren't the age of consent from Mar-a-Lago. Am I saying it right? Mar-a-Lago, whatever. I don't care. But from there, and then bringing them to his house or putting them in his ring, right? That's what I think. Good morning, Jessan 86. So here's what we're going to do. On the heels of what I just stated, we're going to listen to this audio. And it's in the title of it. Okay, the cred goes to AT2. Video cred goes to AT2. And yes, I didn't know that till you sent me that, Jenny. She said Quincy Jones dated Ivanka like 12 years ago. Ivanka is the Cheddar Color Cult Leader's daughter, the one that he wants to be with. Cheddar Color Cult Leader wants to be with his own daughter. That he said this on multiple occasions. So I want to make sure we get that tied together. Yeah, I know it's sick. If you're like, what? Yeah, absolutely. The title of this is Jeffrey E.'s brother, Mark, knows who unalived him. Jeffrey had the dirt on the Cheddar Color Cult Leader. Without further ado, first thing we want to do is say this with our chest. And now we're going to start the audio. You all don't forget, Sweaty Teddies, we need 18. Help us reach that live goal. I got faith in y'all. I trust in y'all. All right?
Trump doesn't realize every day that he tries to hide these files or call it a hoax, it makes him look even more guilty. There's a clip that's resurfacing from 4 months ago where Don Lemon interviewed the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, Mark Epstein. And Mark names who he believes had something to do with his brother's death. And trust me, we're not shocked at all. And he did not blame Bill Clinton nor a Democrat. Let's get into it, y'all. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Issa Melissa, welcome in. Oh, Night Nurse 558, long time no see. Welcome in.
I was happy that I seen this clip resurface because
good seeing
a
you
lot
again,
of people
Bessie.
were under the impression that Jeffrey Epstein was locked up during the Biden administration.
Hello, I'm a tie.
This is not
I'm a
it. It's
fruitcake.
commercial.
Don't give us.
We'll get through this commercial. Hold on. We'll get back to the audio.
It was the Trump administration. Let's get into it, y'all. Here we go.
When you saw that interview with them, I think there was a couple of interviews. The one thing with Maria Bartiromo, where they sat
That's
down,
Don
and,
Lemon
they were
speaking.
glum, and they're saying there's nothing there. I would be honest with you, there's nothing there. After years and years of pushing, and also calling this somehow a Democrat, according to them, conspiracy theory, and that somehow the Democrats were involved in your brother's death.
I don't think the Democrats look. Well, I look at it this way. Bill Barr, when he came out with that ridiculous statement, he was the Attorney General. You know, who did he look? If Jeffrey was murdered, which I believe he was, somebody did it. So the people who were coming out with these ridiculous statements, I think, are covering up for somebody, right? So who are they covering up for? You know, Bill Barr worked for the President of the United States. Kash Patel works for the President of the United States. Pam Bondi works for the President of the United States. Maybe someone should ask him what he knows.
Who do you think they're
It
covering
makes
up
sense,
for?
right?
Who do they all work for?
They all work
Jenny
for
said
Donald
Bannon
Trump.
and Michael Wolff were handlers,
Well,
I think.
like I said in another interview, I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump was behind your brother's death? Are you saying that Donald Trump had your brother murdered, you believe?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if that's what it was, I wouldn't be surprised. We know that Jeffrey had dirt on Donald Trump. We know that. That's a fact. Because he said in 2016 with the election that if he said what he knew, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but that's what he said. And
Let me pause it right there because any MAGA that we have in here, first and foremost, hey, niece, first and foremost, welcome in. But I want you to understand something. I need you to understand that the time that these emails came out, right? It wasn't, I'm talking about the ones he was talking about prior to when Jeffrey E. was on Alive and stuff like that. I'm going back to like the 2011, 2012, I'm talking about that time. The things that was stated in those particular emails, at that time, they had no clue that the Cheddar Color Coat leader was going to be in office. So to hear you all say now that they had been planning this or planning to make his presidency tarnished back then when they didn't even know he was going to be in the position that he's in is like diabolical. It's asinine. And think about this. He don't need help tarnishing his presidency. He does it every single day. And we knew this the first time, right? But he shows it every day. So let's stop with saying that it's a hoax. Let's stop with saying that it's the Democrat. Let's stop all of that and just accept it for what it is. This dude isn't a good person. I mean, and y'all know it. And I'm gonna be honest. If you can lean a little bit closer and hear me, I'm going to share some friendly advice with you all. When you know what he's done, I mean, you've seen the files, you've seen the emails, you see how hard he was fighting for these papers not to come out. When you see all of these things and you still support him, when you say, well, what about Biden sniffing little, that's a bad look on you. It is my prayer that you stop playing the fool for this dude who don't care about you. It's not a good look when you make excuses for a P3 deal. It's not. It's not. So please quit. It has nothing to do with any Democrat. And understand something. Let me say this as well. if any Democrat that's in the papers, any, capitalize any, because we don't want to miss none, we want them held accountable as well. All right? Mike Grinder crashing Johnson is an embarrassment. And I'm going to tell you why he's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment because he says, well, we're going to make more victims.
You're
Huh?
welcome.
Oh, we're going to make more victims if we release everything unredacted. Now, here's the thing. He don't mean the victims that were actually violated. He's referring to the people, the powerful men, the rich men who actually violated the victims. He's referring to them as the victims, the new victims that it would make. How sickening. One more thing, and this is where I need live participation from you all. Is it a common thing for a father to go to a school dance with his daughter, give her an engagement ring, and tell her that her virginity is his until he gives it away? What in the bloody F is that? Is this normal? If I'm wrong, and this happens, if it's something cultural, let me know. Maybe it's something in Louisiana I don't know about. Put a 1 in the live if that's common. Put a 2 if it's not common. Yes, purity ring. And dress like they were marrying each other. That's exactly what I'm talking about, sis. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Night nurses, no. Jenny says, no. Call me Mr. Wrestling number 2. I'm putting up both my 2s, no and no. Loud no. I got 5 daughters. Sis said maybe a YT thing. I love you. Doesn't make sense. All right.
I've been public about that before. That shouldn't come as a shock.
Dirt
So-
like what? Dirt about what?
Of course, Steve Bannon said that the only person he feared for Donald Trump's sake was Jeffrey Epstein. Why? What do you think? Jeffrey was going to beat him up? No, it's because of what Jeffrey knew.
And what did Jeffrey know?
Well, I don't know. He didn't tell me what he knew, but he said if he said what he knew, they'd have to cancel the election. That's a direct quote. Yeah.
And you believe your brother had dirt on Donald Trump? What? I'm trying to figure out dirt like what?
Yes, he is.
Well, I don't know. He didn't tell me. But
By
I do
far.
know they used to be very friendly back in the 90s, into maybe early 2000s. Yeah, they used to fly in each other's planes. And yeah, Donald Trump was in Jeffrey's office a lot in the early 90s when he was in financial trouble. Yeah, they were good friends. Jeffrey used to tell me that he liked hanging out with him in the early days. Trump was a funny guy. You know, so they were good friends. I only saw them both together once when I flew up from Florida with them on Jeffrey's plane once. So I don't have a lot of experience with them, with other people around, but they were good friends.
So, but Mark, let's be honest about this, all right? Because we're all adults here. When you say dirt, it would have to do with something that has to do with, either trafficking or SA, as we call it, assault, and young people, young
Welcome in, Adrian.
girls. That's the accusations.
Listen, Mark's not trying to implicate himself, but I do believe him when he says this because, again, he would know his brother best. And knowing how now we know Jeffrey Epstein was helping during that hearing in Congress with Stacey Plaskett and was giving her questions to ask Michael Cohen.
Says 2007, cut all ties to E after coming to the realization that was wrong with his affairs. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, he was coming for Trump. He was coming for Trump, and Trump was worried. So what I was just thinking, you guys, Bill Barr was the attorney general in the first Trump administration. Bill Barr's father worked with Jeffrey Epstein, so that's their connection. Steve Bannon, remember he mentioned that Steve Bannon had feared Jeffrey Epstein and what he knew? Well, Steve Bannon did a documentary on Jeffrey Epstein, but he never released it. He followed Jeffrey Epstein around, interviewed him, was going to do this documentary, and then never released it. And nobody talks about Steve Bannon in that documentary that he was supposed to put out. Like, what happened? Did he edit it? Like, what's going on? Let's see that footage. That needs to be subpoenaed.
Absolutely.
And then, granted, everybody that Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, they all work for Trump. So, of course, they're going to say, oh, there's nothing to see here. This is all a big cover-up. And let's not forget, Trump said, well, it was reported in his first administration that he thought about giving Ghislaine a pardon. This was before she, today in the second Trump administration. This was during the first. He wanted to give her a pardon, and they suggested don't do that. Fast forward to now, she's moved into this low security camp. It's not a jail. It's basically like a camp, and she's given special treatment. Why is a predator given special treatment?
That part.
And obviously, she lied that, oh, Trump wasn't at the house. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Because in the emails, we seen that Trump was with a victim, for 16 hours, and then a few other things where it drew Trump and Ghislaine a connection together where they were at the house. So again, everything points back to Trump. Why doesn't he want these files released? Well, now today he said, yeah, Democrats should vote for it. But like I said before, that's actually a trick. The trick is he opened up investigations into Bill Clinton and all these other Democrats, right? But if you have an open investigation, you cannot release the files. They're going to try to tie this all up in the courts to where, oh, we're doing active investigation, so sorry, we can't release any of the files.
Oh, because it's an open investigation.
This is all a trick. And let's be honest, from what Mark Epstein is saying, whatever information he had on them, they would have to cancel the election. It's bad. It's definitely bad. Let's continue.
Oh, man.
Do you believe that?
That's a possibility. It could also
block party member,
business realm. Like I said, I don't know.
Somebody else got a block party invitation.
As I've been saying for almost 6 years, I don't like to speculate. I like to stick with facts.
Mm-hmm. And you said it could be something in the business realm, or it could be something to do with that, right?
Well, it could be anything. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to start listing possibilities. That's not my job.
But that's a lot to say that you are, that this person. Well, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein, your brother, did die, or as you say, was murdered. That's according to you. He did die when Donald Trump was president.
Correct.
And there will, and somehow this became Joe Biden's fault.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm not sure how that became Joe Biden's fault when it happened under Donald Trump when he died. And somehow it became Joe Biden's fault. And now they have released the papers, and they're saying the papers were at the Southern District of New York, and I've got all this stuff, and there's a lot of dirt and whatever. And then all of a sudden there's nothing. And now you have the deputy head of the FBI saying, I may resign because the Attorney General of the United States is not releasing all the information that he believes is pertinent. That's pretty big, Mark. Come on.
I believe it is pretty big, but that's not what I'm interested in. That's the case. That's, look, nothing's going to bring my brother back. So I'm not worried, looking at that possibility. And the stuff about the case and what the intricacies of government actions is not what I'm concerned about for my brother's sake, because that's what I'm concerned about.
Right,
the circumstances of what I believe to be.
He's scared.
Look, it's also,
he's taking
Jeffrey had a hearing coming up.
He's taking a big chance
for his bail in a few days. after he died. Now, knowing my brother as I did, I would imagine he wouldn't kill himself before the bail hearing, because if he got bail, he'd be out of jail. He'd be living in his house with an ankle monitor, with armed guards, with cameras, but he wouldn't be in jail, awaiting trial.
I'm just going to pause it for a second. Think about that. Put that in context. If he didn't even have the bail hearing yet, why would he unalive himself before going to the bail hearing, where he could have possibly gotten released on bail from jail, even like he said, even on house ankle monitor or house arrest, whatever, he still would have been out. It's not like that was far from the realm of possibility. When he first got in trouble in Florida, they allowed him to wake up in the morning, leave jail, go to his office, conduct his business affairs, and then come back to jail in the evening. So it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility that he could have gotten bail. Just marinate on that. Splagga blagga maggas.
I could see if he went for the bail hearing and it was denied, and then he figured he had to spend another year in jail waiting for a trial, I could see him, taking himself out. Like I said, when I first heard that he was found dead from an apparent suicide, I had no reason to doubt that. But the next day when they did the autopsy, and both professional, experienced pathologists came out of the room and said they couldn't call it a suicide because it looks too much like a homicide. That's on the initial death certificate. It's when it said cause of death, it said pending further study. And then a few days later, the chief medical examiner, Dr. Barbara Sampson, who never saw the body, Jeffrey was removed from the place before she ever showed up. She declares it a suicide without giving any explanation of what further study was done.
I know, y'all. I said we got to stay on time. Gina, good morning, beautiful. Welcome to the show. I know I said we got to stay on time, and I'm really trying to do that. All right, I really am. But it's just I want to point out these vital points that he's making. Think about what he just said. Before the ME even got to the jail to assess the crime scene, or we'll just say the scene for the sake of argument, the area or the scene was already tampered with. Jeffrey's body was already removed. People, you can't do that when you got something like this going on. You've tainted the investigation already. When you let people come in and out of a alleged crime scene or a scene like this, any scene like this, and you allow people to come in and out, and then you remove key evidence, which in this case would be the body itself. When you remove the body from the scene before the MEs can get there and the detectives can get there and stuff, you've already tainted it. You've already messed up the whole investigation.
To make her come to that conclusion. Again, this doesn't pass the laugh test as far as I'm concerned. There's just so much of this, and there's so much like what you might call, circumstantial evidence. But it's like the story, like if you leave your house in the morning and the streets are wet with puddles and all the cars are wet and there's water dripping from the trees, but it's not raining, you could safely assume that it was raining before you came out. You didn't see it rain, but you know it was raining. It's the same thing here. You can't have, it's just looking too much like he was murdered. I don't know, I can't say who did it.
And listen, Mark is going to defend his brother and obviously want justice for him. However, I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein was a bad guy. I'm not excusing anything that he did wrong, right? I ain't pulling a Megyn Kelly. But what I'm saying is that it's very interesting how this man was going to have a hearing, and so he was probably going to be able to get bail and go home or whatnot. So why would he end his life
right?
just randomly? And like he said, it would be one thing if they told him, oh, you got to wait another year or he wasn't going to get bond. More than likely, he would have got bailed out and went back home and then awaited his trial. Ghislaine, she hasn't tried to, end her life from what we know. So why would Jeffrey Epstein? It's just very strange. It's very strange.
I have to agree.
And again, that whole connection with Trump and knowing that this happened during his administration, you can't help but to think. And then again, like I said in the beginning of the video, the way Trump acts, like, okay, something is wrong, obviously.
I wasn't there.
Jenny said Ghislaine said the same thing as Mark.
Do you think there are too many weird coincidences of cameras going out and the video not working and, things that are being redacted? And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about it when questioned about it at a press conference.
In a minute cut out
why
of
not?
the video.
You would think the president of the United States would want the truth to come out instead of squashing it all.
The minute being cut out of the video, he's talking about in the jail cell where Jeffrey E. was. There's a piece of the video, a minute of the video missing. So that could have been when they removed the body. It could have been who went in but a minute is unaccounted for. Right. Sis said they spliced the video.
Go on.
We'd think that if he wasn't involved.
Say again?
I said, I would certainly think the president of the United States would want the truth to come out unless he was involved.
What would you say to him?
Well, I'd ask him to provide the answers to the questions we've been asking. And then, that would help a lot. And then to come to some kind of determination after that. Like I said, I don't want to speculate. I like to work on facts. And I would like to get the answers to the very simple questions that we've been stymied on.
Like?
Well, like who were the prisoners on the tier? When did they get there? And where are they now? Because we were told that a number of the prisoners were transferred off of that tier after the death.
Mm.
So let's say somebody was put on the prison
Didn't know that.
in there a few days before as an inmate. But it was his real job there, some kind of covert operation to take Jeffrey out. And then he gets transferred out and he disappears into the ether. So that's why I want to know who were the prisoners on that tier. Like I said, it's not a huge number. It's a maximum of 14, and I think it was more like 12. Who were they? When did they get there? And where are they now? Now we know that other inmate, Nicholas Tartaglione, was there, and he was there for a long time. So he certainly wasn't planted there, knowing that Jeffrey would be
That's
there
who you're
to
talking
kill him.
about.
So we can sort of scratch him off the list of someone who might have been planted there. So now we're down to 11 people. And there was another guy that was Jeffrey's roommate for a while, a cellmate for a while, and he has since passed away from natural causes. So now we're down to what, 10 people? Somewhere around there. So who?
I want to say, I've heard about the conspiracies about Jeffrey Epstein death. A lot of people don't think he unalived himself. They think that someone did it. And I never really paid attention to it. But when I seen this clip resurfacing, I was all like, wow, he's really connecting some dots here and calling out some things that does not make sense at all. So,
Thanks. I mean, it's just what it
very
is.
intrigued. Please, go ahead and please let me know. I would love to hear what you guys have to say.
Are they? When did they get there? And where are they now? The Bureau of Prisons should have records of this readily available.
How is your family doing, especially and you specifically, because
all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. Shout out to Don Lemon for.
All right, we'll end it right there too. Shout out to AT2. Shout out to him. Don Lemon for conducting the interview. And let's make sure we give it up to Mark Epstein. In addition to giving it up to Mark Epstein. You know how we do, people. Let's also pray for protection because he's speaking. He's speaking some real stuff. We know that they don't want, it's things that they don't want coming out. But this man he's putting it on his back. Yes, of course, you can hear it in his voice that he's scared, and he has every reason to be. I don't know how many times we've got to point out the fact that a lot of people who have actually came out and stated things on the cheddar color coat leader have had to endure threats to their lives or their family members' lives. I mean, Stormy Daniels tells us in her interviews, she talks about it on her X account or her Twitter account or whatever you want to call it. They were showing up to her daughter's school. And the one that was, I believe she was 13. I believe the one girl was 13. The one where allegedly it was stated that the friend told her or invited her, brought her there, whatever, and she was saying that the cheddar color coat leader was interested in her, and then he was saying that she looked like his daughter Ivanka, and they were the same age. Hey, baby, my oldest is in here. How you doing, baby? You want to come up in the panel? You could just sit in the panel. You ain't got to say nothing. But and look what she went through. And then after he allegedly done what he done to her, and she's saying, well, what if I end up pregnant? And he told her to get an AB. B. Just for shits and giggles. Let's take that action. Let's just say that what she's saying is true. That was something he said, right, to her. You can easily see how he treats women that are journalists or reporters that ask him questions. And look how he talks to them and tries to belittle them. My daughter said, blessed at work, making more money. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. Keep muscling the industrial to get that hustle, baby. I got it. L Wood 792 says, I hope he stands up to these guys or else it will never stop. I don't think he's going to stand up to them. I don't think that the cheddar color coat leader is going to stand up to these people that are powerful and rich and from other countries that participated in this. I don't think he's going to stand up to them. In fact, I don't think he's going to stand up to him because definitely now, after we know that he likes standing up is out the question when we know he's been on his knees. I don't think he's going to stand up to him because Putin put all these pictures on TV over in Russia of Melania and her little biscuit booty, and he did nothing. He ain't go at him for nothing. Nothing at all. What's been proven to be a lie? That they showed her pictures? And now think about it. In one of the documents, it stated that Melania was in a relationship with Jeffrey E. First. But he didn't want that to come out. The cheddar color coat leader didn't want that to come out. Jenny said Brett Ratner is in those files and he ran to Israel. Demetrius, how's it going, brother? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Now, hold on. Let's factor this in now. Even other girls that Jeffrey E. dated and then passed them on to the cheddar color coat leader. Hey, baby, thank you for that. I love you so much. You know Daddy loves you so much. Y'all make sure y'all go and follow my baby. That's my first one. That's the one that made me a dad. XOXO Queen Kate. Please go and follow her. So let's put this in perspective here. You take a man who, a little girl who was 13 that said this man did this to her and said these things to her. And she was pretty detailed in her statement, down to the fact of how can I put this? I don't know if I can say that word, but anyways, her nipples, how they were bruised and everything from what he did to her. Willie said Katie Johnson lawsuit will be front and center with these files. Both Trump and the Cheddar Color Cult leader and Jeffrey E. are named. You know what, brother? I got something in my phone right now. I got a court document, a legal court document saved in my phone right now. Aztec Princess, good morning, beautiful. How you doing? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. I'll gladly post it. Because I see we got some Trump publicans in here that thinks we're lying still. That's what I just don't understand. Willie said, I've seen it. Do I need to post the list of the kids that he has graped and paid their family handsome amount of money to keep quiet? Willie Smith said, please post it. I will be looking for that on my backup account. Go and follow my backup account. I'll post it on there. Both of them. The list and the court papers that I'm talking about. You can't sit here and deny this, Trump publicans, Trump turdians. I just do not get y'all point of view. So when the Cheddar Color Cult leader said that he could literally walk on the street of New York and somebody and you all would still support him, I'm starting to believe that might be the first truth that man ever told. Well, the second. The other truth was when he said smart people don't like him. But you take this 13-year-old girl who said he talked to her that way, he treated her that way, and then you follow it up with just the other night he was saying to the reporter on the plane, he told, quiet piggy. That's why if you go on my page, my backup page right here, and you see that pig with the toupee, the blonde toupee, that's supposed to look like him or supposed to be him, and I say that's the piggy that needs to be quiet, that's why I posted that. Not to mention he talks to Caitlin Collins any kind of way. Oh, and don't let the reporter be a BLK woman. I'm easily convinced that BLK, strong BLK women, is his kryptonite. And the only reason I can think that this man is this way towards women is because he can't stand up to the guys that he likes to give breathalyzers tests to. And I'm talking about he's the one with the in his mouth. And then when you hear about him and what he done to Bubba, and then you think back to that stupid dance that he do, like he got two of them going at one time. These things coming up. Or how about when he speaks about Arnold Palmer's size? Or what about the other day when he was talking about the guys? It was like how built and buff they were, and they were taller than, I forgot who he said, or maybe Tom Cruise. I don't know. He was saying they were taller than that person, but he don't want to say that. But okay, you're not convinced. I get it. You're not convinced. Well, what about when he was speaking and he mocked giving oral to the microphone? I got to agree with Pumps. She said, even I was starting to be envious. His technique, like she said, even made me envious. And that came, I can't make this stuff up. That boy Fizzle, thank you. He said, "Preach, my brother." Thank you. You can't. We're not making this up. Thank you for the go populars. I appreciate that, Aztec Princess. So please know that now that he wants to release these papers, he has something. There's a cover up coming. He's cheating somewhere. That's all he does. He's fought so hard, tooth and nail. Hell, he even closed down the government to prevent the Congress lady from Arizona, District 7, from being sworn in because he knew she was going to be that vote that had these papers released. And now all of a sudden, he's saying, yes, release them. There's only Democrats on them. Release them. The man is up to something. He's up to something. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. Hold on. Let me take a halftime real quick. Niece, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? She might be busy. Okay, she's busy. All right, we'll keep going. Everybody good? Everybody good? Put a 1 in the live if you good. Thank you all for joining us. Please, please, please. We have a gifting goal. Sweaty Teddies. We've gotten 2. We need 18 more. I told you the significance of meeting the goal. Let me go over to you all because some people are just now coming in and they missed the opening of the broadcast. Listen, we are trying to make sure we get out this information and educate people who may not know how things go or work, not only in the entertainment industry or entertainment world, but also in the political world. Okay. And so we need, in order for us to reach more people and be able to enlighten more people, we need your help. We're so thankful. We're so glad that you're here. Hashtag I'm going to say it. We are so thankful that you joined us. But we need you to keep double tapping the screen. We need you to share out the live. We need you to help hit the gift and go. Get us in the FYP.
Hey everybody, Grand Rising family. I'm sorry,
There she
I
is.
finished up with my patient.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right, I'll take that. I can read between the lines.
Yeah, I was trying to comment on when J.E. brother was up there talking, and they gonna get him next. Something gonna happen to him mysteriously because he know too much.
I'm afraid of that.
He know too much, and he's questioning. It's not the fact that he know too much; it's the fact that he's questioning.
Yes, he's and by him questioning, he's actually enlightening people to see it from a different angle. Things that they
There's a
wouldn't
lot of
stop to
stuff
think
that he
about.
said I didn't know. That's why I said they Colombiana'd him. If everybody paid attention and ever seen the movie Colombiana, remember when she got herself
The little
intentionally
girl.
arrested and she went into the jail to do
Yep.
it? That's what's given. Now I knew about the whole minute of
Thank
it
you,
being
Aztec
missing.
Princess.
I knew about a minute of the video being missing, but I didn't know it was other people that was on that floor with him besides the person that was his roommate.
Yeah, and then and they got them moved out. Like
They wasn't supposed to do that. Actually, everybody who did that or had anything to do with that movement, like moving him around before they can come, basically they disrupted the crime scene.
Exactly.
They should have been held accountable for that.
W. Neeson alive. Exactly. They ruined the whole investigation.
You're all finished. Have a good day, okay? Yes. They tampered with evidence. That's called tampering with evidence, disrupting the crime scene.
She said, Jenny said his cellmate has unalived someone the same way. They found Jeffrey E. I thought, didn't he do an interview or something at one point? Or is that somebody else that was in there? I know somebody that was an inmate there done a interview. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I know
It
that
was
happened.
one of the. It was an inmate that was there that did an interview, but I don't think it was his cellmate.
Oh, okay, it was okay. Tucker's mom too. Long time
It
no
probably
see.
was one of them people that he was talking about that was on the floor with them, if I'm correct.
But you know what I'm talking about. You know the interview I'm talking about. Okay.
But yeah, they Colombiana'd him because he was gonna probably tell.
Well, and like he said, his brother said that he told him, if I
He should have gave
release what
all.
I
If
know.
anything happened, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this wholeheartedly. His brother got whatever evidence that he had to protect himself. His brother got that evidence.
You believe so?
Yeah,
Why do you think he wouldn't come out with it? I'm with you though. I'm with you. I think
I think his brother got a lot of that evidence. He probably don't have everything, but he has enough to at
right,
least probably keep himself secure and safe.
right. I think he does. I think that's why he's kind of dropping the breadcrumbs. Like, what if? How about this? Or why
Uh-huh.
not this?
He's
Why this
making
didn't happen?
everything like hypothetically.
Right, right. I agree with you on that. Hold on, before we go into the third segment, which is back to that pop. I want to show the people that's just coming in what I was talking about. That was the people that was
Hey,
here for
Jimmy
the
Boo.
other broadcast when we was talking about our trip to the 16th Street Baptist Church over in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was mentioning the water cannons. This is what I'm talking about. This is what they sprayed at the people. Look at
Or
this.
when they
This looks
used to
like a
hose them
military
down.
weapon.
Yeah, when they used to hose them down.
Yes,
That's what they used to do.
yes.
They
It would
people think
bruise
that it
them.
was just the water hose from the fire trucks. No, that's
Mm-mm.
usually what they would use.
These right here.
You
Look
know
at
what
this.
that feel like getting hit by? You ever been hit by a BB
Mm-hmm.
pellets?
Mm-hmm.
Not a paint or a beat, and it's a lot of pressure too.
Would whip their skin, and they said the skin would whelp up.
Walk right up. Sometimes it would cut through the skin depending on how your skin
Yep.
was.
Said that. Yeah, it's like a shredder. Yep. You're right.
Mhm.
Now, let me show you all the window I was talking about. Like I said, I couldn't find the picture where my wife, our kids, and I was standing in front of it. But let me show you all this one. This is the actual window that the four young girls. This is the bathroom window that the four young girls were in, putting their makeup on, getting themselves together, getting ready to head up to worship service when the BOMB went off. This is the this is where they lost their lives at. That's what
So
I was
sad.
talking about. That. Yeah,
So sad.
it's crazy that we even man, and it feels like we hadn't even moved that much further from those times neither.
Nope. Because it's still going on. And school today is still going on. It's sad that like kids have to really like we used to have to prepare for like fire and
Tornado, yeah.
yeah. Now they
Mm-hmm.
don't even teach them to prepare for that anymore. They have to teach them how to hide and certain things to do when it's an active SHOOTER in the
Mm-hmm.
building.
Right. Right. And that's crazy, right? Like no longer do you gotta bend over and put a book over your head. Now it's really your life. You got
Yeah, like you got to be careful who you ducking and hiding with because like they'll cost you your life if they make one wrong sound, one wrong move, how to lock the door.
yes. Crazy work.
Not to
Crazy work.
mention BOMBERS.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's a whole different arg like it's times are so I mean they're so different, but it's to the extreme. Even it's really we're at a point now where homeschooling kids is really almost the better option for two reasons. One, you got to worry about their safety, and for two, the school isn't teaching history the correct way.
Mhm. They not teaching
So
nothing the correct way. Math, English, writing. They took script out of school. They took how to teach them how to write in cursive out of school. Why? When they say your most important thing vital to you is your John Hancock and being able to read and understand
exactly,
what you're reading.
exactly. Aztec Princess says I'm considering homeschooling. I understand that, and Aztec Princess, I'm still gassed off of what you sent me last night. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about reading it at the end of the show. What do you think? Should we do that? I mean, it's powerful, right? Jeannie said they took penmanship in cursive because AI can't read it. Yeah, Rudy was like, they're teaching us cursive, yay! Like they brought it back now, and it's like, man, that's wild. You know, like because we was doing that like in third grade. She's in fifth. You know.
We started learning cursive in like second grade.
Yeah, absolutely. You can come up. You want to come up now? You want to come up at the end and read it? How you want to do it? You know, it's your word.
Do me a favor. Can you send to Aztec Princess the Indian men the Indian and Pakistan men that walked from India and Pakistan to Mexico? The
Okay.
video I was talking about that I sent you?
Yes. Yes, I definitely will. I definitely will. Okay, Aztec. So you want to do it now? You want to come up now? Okay, there she goes. Hey,
Good
love.
morning. How are
Good morning.
you?
Morning.
I'm doing good. Do you have that on you right now?
Because we not morning.
I have my stuff on me all the time. All the time.
Will you do me a favor, love? Will you please read what you sent me yesterday in its
Yeah.
entirety?
I can read it. I can read it. Let me just split my screen.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the floor.
Give me one
Paul, I
sec.
think
I
you
have to
know.
split.
Hold on one second, Aztec Princess. We got another one. We got a live one in here.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, Cletus. I think you know that America isn't good right now. Because you see, people in your cabinet, or the cabinet that you, or the administration that you clearly seem like you support, are quick to say you're Christians. But Paul,
Oh,
let me
no,
ask
don't
you a
come here with
question.
that Christian stuff.
Yeah, let me ask you, Paul Strickland. If you all are supposed to be Christians, why every action that you all demonstrate isn't Christian-like?
It's always the opposite. Harming somebody. Real Christians don't believe in that.
Exactly. Yeah, I called you Cletus. I called you Cletus because that seemed like a very MAGA feeling name. I'll be Tyrone. I'll be Tyrone because see, you didn't want Tyrone to know how to learn how to read and write. But Tyrone became smart. And that's what you fear most. Well, that's one of the things you fear most, Paul, or Cletus, or Cheddar Bob, Billy Bob. The other thing that you fear most is that your women like guys like Tyrone. See, y'all didn't have no problem with it when y'all could sneak back in the quarters and do things like that. But it just killed your pride when you got home to find out that debutante you left at home, or that sweet dear Southern lady that you left at home by herself, and that you would leave in the middle of the night to go back to the quarters, decided she would do the same thing you doing, and she liked it. You see, Paul, that whole eating the cat thing, you all took for an animal. Nah, they're eating the cat. That didn't have anything to do with no animal. Let me tell you something, Paul. This country has always been built on treating people bad. Ever since those peasants came from Europe over here, nothing but bad things have happened. And so, Paul, this is why we say that the country hasn't really progressed that far from racism. Victim mentality. Okay, victim mentality. I love that. I love that. I love that. Victim mentality. I guess I look at it differently, Paul. I look at it as strong mentality. I look at it someone who persevere, or people that persevere. They took your worst, and they're still standing. And I think that makes you all scared. I mean, I'm just thinking that you wasn't prominent where you're from, and then you try to come over here to these what you call new land, which can't be new land because people was already here. But you come over here, and then
Did he
you
say
put in
victim
place.
mentality?
Yeah, he
Paul,
said
your
victim.
people are the last people that should be talking about victim mentality when y'all are so entitled and y'all are the ones who came here on boats.
Yeah,
They were
right.
lost at sea when we found them and fed them.
See,
The
You
matter of fact,
have
let me give
actual
you some history. Let,
documentation of
let
your
me
people coming here
let
on
me give you
boats,
some
not
history,
one boat,
please.
but hundreds of them.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
give you some history. You were the first welfare line because when you came and
We
you
are
were
all
starving,
victims.
lost at sea, when you were lost at
Listen,
sea, you were pulled out and the natives stood you in the line and fed you. Okay, this is lore that is being passed down at the powwows, how you were fed, how you were given a way to work the land because you were lost at sea, starving, dying.
and then you came and killed, unalived them, and cooked them and ate them.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
you
How
guys have been known
barbaric
for
is
eating
that?
people.
mm. Hey, you know what, Aztec Princess?
This is a perfect segue. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Without further ado, let me introduce Aztec Princess. And Aztec Princess, go on and take this boy to school.
Okay, so I did some research because right now, with all of the manipulation of history that's going on, people are starting to forget their roots. You got people claiming ancestry that don't belong to them. And the sad part about it is if they knew their own ancestry, they wouldn't need to claim nobody else's. Okay? So I researched the history of African people. So these are some mind-blowing facts, history facts that they don't teach you about African people. Africa had universities before Europe had sidewalks. Timbuktu's University of Sankore, Mali, was running in the 1100s. It held over 700,000 manuscripts covering astronomy, mathematics, law, medicine, and philosophy. Students studied for 10 to 20 years before graduation, like a medieval PhD. Europe didn't get its first university until 200 years later. The richest man in human history was African. Mansa Musa, Mali Empire, was so wealthy that his 1324 pilgrimage to Mecca collapsed the gold economy for years because he gave away so much gold. Today, the richest billionaires don't come close to his adjusted wealth. African queens were absolute powerhouses. Not wives or kings, they ruled entire empires. Queen Amanirenas from Sudan defeated the ancient Rome, literally fought Caesar Augustus, and won. Queen Singa from Angola outsmarted the Portuguese for 40 years. Hatshepsut, Egypt, built more monuments than any other pharaoh except Ramses II. Makeda, queen of Sheba, ruled a massive empire spanning Ethiopia and Yemen. These women commanded armies, negotiated international diplomacy, and ruled wealthy kingdoms. Africans performed advanced surgery thousands of years ago. The Kenyans of the Baganda people performed C-sections with antiseptic techniques before Europeans even understood germs. Ancient Egyptian surgeons wrote medical manuals describing brain surgery, dentistry, and limb prosthetics. The world's earliest mathematical tools were African. The Ishango bone, Congo, from 20,000 years ago is the oldest mathematical artifact on Earth. It shows knowledge of multiplication, division, and prime numbers. Africans were doing math before the pyramids, before Greece, before everything. Ancient African cities had indoor plumbing. Great Zimbabwe, 1100 to 1500s, had advanced stone architecture with no mortar. Nubian cities had water systems and bathrooms. Egyptian homes had flushable toilets 5,000 years ago. Meanwhile, Europe was still bathing once a year. Africans shaped global civilization. The Moors, North Africans, ruled Spain, Portugal for 700 years, bringing street lighting, public libraries, science, algebra, citrus fruits, irrigation, architecture that still stands today. Europe literally entered its renaissance after African scholars and architects taught them mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. African kingdoms traded with China and the Americas long before Columbus. There's evidence of Swahili coins found in Australia. African ships reaching Brazil before European. Trade routes from East Africa and India and China via the Indian Ocean. Africa wasn't isolated, it was a global player. African warriors were feared worldwide. The Dahomey Amazons were full of female military regiment, unmatched in discipline and ferocity. Shaka Zulu revolutionized warfare across the continent. Nubian archers were so skilled, Egyptians called them the bow that never missed. Africa is the birthplace of all humanity. Cletus, every single human being on earth to Asian Europe, indigenous American, descends from African men and women. They carried the first languages, first cultures, first technologies. The entire planet traces back to them. When you understand this history, you don't need to cling to any label, movement, or reclassification. You realize you come from innovators, you come from queens, scientists, builders, warriors. You come from the cradle of civilization. Your ancestors shaped the world before anyone else picked up a tool. And that gives you a kind of confidence that no political identity or trendy label can replace. Okay?
So where did it all go wrong? Let's do history.
Okay, hold on. I'm not done. This is the three part, okay? When scientists talk about mitochondrial DNA and the Y chromosomal, mitochondrial Eve and Y chromosomal Adam, they're not talking about the biblical Adam and Eve or the first two humans on Earth. They're talking about the most recent common ancestors of everyone alive today. That means you, Cletus. Mitochondrial Eve, the Eve gene, every human gets mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, from their mother. Only that DNA barely changes over generations. When scientists traced mtDNA in people from all over the world, the line kept leading back to one woman who lived in Africa about 150,000 to 200,000 years ago. This doesn't mean she was the only woman alive, just that one whose maternal line survived in every living human. Every single person walking the earth today carries her mtDNA. Black, white, Asian, indigenous, Middle Eastern, all of us. Y chromosomal Adam, the Adam gene, men pass on their Y chromosome only to their sons. When geneticists ran the same test with the Y chromosome, The line traced back to one man in Africa who lived about 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. Again, he wasn't the only man alive. He was just the ancestor whose Y line survived all men today. The mind-blowing part, even though Adam and Eve didn't live at the same time, everyone alive today descends from one African woman through our mothers and one African man through our fathers. This means the deepest roots of every human life, all nationalities, colors, and backgrounds connect back to Africa. This is not symbolism, it's not religion, and it isn't politics. It's genetics, it's facts. Why does this matter? It means that there's no pure anything. We're all branches of the same African tree. Skin color is a recent adaptation, not a different species. Every human being shares the same ancestral mother and father. Modern humans originated in Africa, then migrated outward to populate the earth. Science calls this the out of Africa model, and it is one of the most solid, repeatedly confirmed findings in anthropology. Right? So every human alive today carries the genetic fingerprint of an African man and an African woman, the original ancestors of all of us. All right? So,
Read them down.
in fact,
Read them
in
down.
fact,
Read them down.
In fact, Africa has the oldest and most diverse human DNA. Because humans originated in Africa, African populations have the highest genetic diversity on Earth, meaning more variations, more adaptations, more unique genetic strengths, more resilience to disease. People outside of Africa actually carry a subset of African DNA because they came from African ancestors who migrated out. So scientifically, African DNA is the full library. Everybody else carries only some of the books. Number two, certain powerful genetic variations started in Africa. Many of these are misunderstood as mysterious African genes, but they're just natural evolutionary advantages that began in Africa. A, the Duffy null allele, malaria resistance. High in African populations, rare in Europeans and Asians. Protects against severe malaria, protects kidney from damage, creates unique immune system responses. This gene is so effective that scientists study it for developing malaria vaccines. B, APOL1 variants, viral resistance, found almost exclusively in people with West African ancestry, provides resistance against deadly parasitic infections shaped by thousands of years of environmental pressure. Pharmaceutical companies study this gene heavily because it beats pathogens modern medicine struggles with. C, variation in melanin genes, SLC24A5, MC1R, etc. African origin, melanin genes have stronger UV protection, lower rates of skin cancer, antioxidant properties, slow visible aging. These traits are biologically beneficial and are the reason skincare companies study melanin-rich skin for new products. D, athletic performance linked to variations. Certain genetic markers associated with fast twitch muscle fibers, bone density, oxygen efficiency, and tendon elasticity. These variations originated in Africa and occur at higher frequencies in certain African descendant groups. This is why people talk about the gene, but it's not one gene, it's a cluster of advantages. Number three, the most important part, no group is missing anything. It is not true that Africans have a magical genes. Others lack a fundamental human gene. Any group is less involved. What the truth is that Africa is the genetic home base. Everyone else branched off later, carrying fewer variants. think of it like this: African, the original phone with all the features, the rest of the world, later versions with some features removed and others adapted. Not better, not worse, just different because of evolutionary paths. So we adapt to the continents we're living in. So what's the coveted part? Scientists, medical companies, and researchers are extremely interested in African genetics because it holds the oldest human DNA. It has the most genetic diversity. It contains powerful immunity adaptations, and it helps scientists understand disease, medicine, and human evolution. This is why African genomes are the most studied in anthropology and medical genetics. Okay. So let me get to the other part of it. Because I have to write a bunch of stuff. Okay, and this is for me. Where indigenous Americans fit in the human genetic origins. All humans originate in Africa, but indigenous Americans branched off much later. Here's a timeline in simple form. Africa, 200,000 plus years ago. Humans evolved and diversified there first out of Africa migration. 50,000 to 70,000 years ago, a small group leaves Africa and becomes the ancestors of all non-African people. East Asian Siberian ancestors, 40,000 to 25,000 years ago. This group develops its own genetic identity and it moves through Asia. Indigenous Americans, about 15,000 to 20,000 years ago, a portion of that Asian Siberian population crosses the Americas via the Bering Land Bridge and becomes the first peoples of the Americas. Indigenous Americans are genetically closer to East Asian Siberian peoples, not Africans, but ultimately all of them descend from the older African ancestors. How Indigenous American DNA is different from African DNA. Indigenous American DNA has distinctive markers that clearly separate it from African, European, or Asian ancestry. The haplogroups are the genetic signatures passed down through maternal or paternal lines. Most common Indigenous American maternal mtDNA haplogroups, A2, B2, C1, D1, X2A. These haplogroups are unique to Native American peoples and some Siberian East Asian ancestors. Most common African maternal haplogroups, L0, L1, L2, L3. These do not appear in Indigenous Americans. So just from mtDNA alone, scientists can instantly tell if a person's maternal line is Indigenous American versus African. Genetic adaptations. Indigenous Americans evolved adaptations for cold climates. In the beginning, health, metabolizing certain immune system responses tied to the New World pathogen environment. Africans evolved adaptation climates, malaria, dense bone structure, certain muscle and metabolic traits. These don't overlap because they evolved in different environments over tens of thousands of years. So what that means that we have different genetic markers because we evolved to be able to survive the environment of our new land. Why Indigenous Americans and African Americans cannot be confused genetically. Genetic testing like 23andMe, Ancestry DNA, instantly distinguishes the two because the DNA markers are totally different branches of the human family tree. Indigenous Americans, haplogroups A2, B2, C1, D1, X2A, shared ancestry with East Asian Siberians, unique combinations of markers found nowhere else. Africans, haplogroups L0 to L3, highest genetic diversity on the planet, unique markers from West, East, Central, North, and Southern Africa. There is no way to confuse the two in real genetic testing. Okay, indigenous Americans descend from ancient East Asian Siberian ancestors who migrated into the Americas about 15 to 20,000 years ago, while African people carry the oldest and most diverse human DNA on Earth. They are completely different genetic branches, even though all humans originally started in Africa. Okay, so I did
Let it
one
cook.
more yesterday. I asked, I have to look for it, but I asked about where does our white brothers and sisters land on that? I have to find it. I have it written in another. But in conclusion, the reason I did this research, and I sent you a video of what the delusion is right now, what they're trying to do, where some people are trying to claim indigenous ancestry. And the reason that I did this research was to educate people of their African heritage and why they should be proud of it. Because
Right.
I feel if you know your history, you will stop that type of movement. The problem that we have with that movement is because it is denying the ancestry of the indigenous people of the Americas. It is offensive because not only is it's the same thing that the white tea people are doing to us. They're already erasing the history of the native people. Right
Right.
now they're going into reservations and trying to take them as a part of this crackdown that this man is supposedly got going on. So we have to respect each other's lineage and heritage. And if you know your heritage, you wouldn't want to be anything other than your heritage because your heritage is so rich, beautiful, and amazing. And that's why I did all this research.
W Aztec Prince is in the live, and you're right. You are so right on that. Niece, you wanted to share something? Niece.
It's nothing for me to share. She ate down. She shared everything that needed, every little point that I was going to. She didn't already had it written down to say it.
She said, "You go, girl." Yeah, she sent me that last night, man, and I read it, and I
It's
was like,
nothing. She ate and left no crumbs.
at all. You can put the plate back over there. It don't even gotta go in the dishwasher.
I'm
Cleaned it.
saying that just cleaned it.
Tell you.
I don't see him in the comments anymore.
Nope.
Oh, you
Yeah,
have nothing to
because
say, sir.
people like Cletus need to understand you could hate each other all you want. We are all part of the same dysfunctional family. The in Mexico they say we are just different colors of corn, wheat, because we are just adaptations to our environment. This is the reason for the colors. This is the reason why we're a little bit different. It isn't because we're not related. We literally are brothers and sisters and cousins, and like every big family, we could fight amongst each other. But to hate each other or to discriminate against each other is
Well,
ridiculous.
it's Paul. I'm just gonna add you to the block list, buddy, because you just won't shake this attitude. This woman and sat here and gave you facts. It's the blind ignorance. It's the blind ignorance for
Intentional.
me.
Yeah. His other
And got
page is
call
Alan.
us NIGGAs. And
You can put him the
If he
Alan.
wants me to read him where they land, that's fine. But I mean, you can be angry all you want, but that is genetics. That is not politics. That is not
it's
opinion.
facts.
It's
It's facts.
facts. Science.
It's
Science.
facts. It's facts over feelings every day, all day.
Yep.
You're not gonna
You're right,
change how I
Demetrius.
feel No, it's facts over feelings. This woman and gave you facts that you can go and look up if you don't believe for yourself and do the research yourself. If you don't have to take nobody else's word. That's why it's called research.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
You could
I
be
don't
mad, but it's
understand.
fact.
Yeah, like it's really no reason to even
But
be
why
mad.
get in your feelings and be mad about the truth? It
Right.
hurts, don't it? Because the truth hurts.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. That's a fact. So now, thank you again, Aztec Princess, for sharing that. Paul, you know, I don't know what else to tell you, brother. I mean, no, I said Paul. I'm sorry, Cletus. I don't know what to tell you, man. Your racist isn't superior, and that's just what it is. You come from Africa. That's just again, like she said,
It's
like
the
you said.
entitlement. It's they talking about us being our victimizing mentality, but it's the victimizing mentality from your people and the entitlement from your people. You try to enslave and take over and take everything for yourselves when
Right,
you were not the originators.
right, right, and see that's the thing. Like they didn't feel that
And they were
way
willing to share.
when
That's how we got in this predicament. They was trying to teach you. They was trying to build you
that's.
up and make you better. And look what y'all
Mm-hmm.
did. Y'all came in, killed us, raped us, enslaved us, and everything else because you wanted something for yourself, all to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I can, I can,
You
I
guys
can.
cannot survive without any of us.
Mm.
What have you built? Nothing.
Hello.
I'm actually ready if you want to hear about where they're evolved from,
Well, go
why
ahead.
they
Yeah.
look white and everything.
I
What?
already know that fact, girl, because I did my that was a high school project.
Go ahead, Aztec Princess. Share it with them. Even though, like Jenny said, they're all lactose intolerant. Go ahead though. Hold on. Hold on. Let me give you back. Let me give you your floor back. Beautiful. Hold on 1 second.
So I'll start again with all humans begin in Africa. Genetics, fossils, mitochondrial DNA, Y chromosome data, it all confirms Homo sapiens evolved in Africa around 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. Then small groups migrated out into the Middle East, Asia, Europe, Pacific, and eventually the Americas. So white people, like everyone else, descend from Africans. European ancestry is a mixture of three main ancient groups. Scientists break the early European population in three ancestral sources: Western hunter-gatherers, ancient groups that spread into Europe around 40,000 years ago. Early European farmers, people from Anatolia, modern Turkey, who migrated into Europe about 9,000 years ago. Steppe pastoralist, people from the Pontic steppe, Ukraine, Russian area who moved around 5,000 years ago. These three groups mixed together over thousands of years. That mixture became what we call now European. Why do Europeans look lighter? Skin color is about UV light, not superiority
Mm.
or evolution level. When humans left Africa and moved north, less sunlight, less vitamin D, less UV radiation, the body adapted by making lighter skin to absorb more sunlight. That's it. It's a survival response. No group is more
The
evolved.
darker the skin, the more
No
you can
group.
endure the sunlight. The lighter the skin, the less sun. It's all dependent on where your people landed at and
Yeah.
whether they were closer or further away from the equator.
Yeah.
No group is more evolved. No group is
Yep.
less evolved. We just adapted to different environments, like I keep telling you guys. So, where do Europeans fit in the bigger human history? They are one branch among many, a relatively recent genetic subgroup, descendants of Africa mixed with various ancient Eurasian peoples, adapted to northern climates. They are not the first human, they are not the most evolved, they're not the saviors of civilization, the default or standard human. That narrative came from colonial era politics, not science. The civilizing the savages story was propaganda. During
Mm-hmm.
colonization, Europeans created a narrative that they were the height of human development. Others were less evolved.
Mm-hmm.
They were bringing civilization to indigenous lands. This wasn't science, it was justification for conquest, land theft, and slavery. Now that modern
Mm-hmm.
genetics proves everyone comes from Africa, these old claims fall apart
Mm.
completely. Genetically speaking, we're all cousins, right? So that's pretty
Mhm.
much it because there's not so much to say. You
I have a
Yep.
guys,
question. I have a question that hasn't been answered.
mhm.
Back then, I'm not gonna say now because it's not all YT people, but it's the majority. What they say, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. So my question is, they say that African Americans and Africans, we are derived from mammals, right? Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's it.
We don't have any Neanderthal in our bloodline,
Aliens.
but they
I love
do.
it. Say that again, niece. I'm sorry, my earbuds was working too good. Say it
We
again.
do not have any Neanderthal in our bloodline, but they
White
do.
people are the only ones that have it.
They
Mm,
have that 3%. Or
Mm-hmm.
is
mm.
Yes,
it
they
is it
do.
three
They're
percent
the
or
only ones.
4%? And they are the
3%.
only race that
Three.
has.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So now, is Cletus? Is he still in here? I know he came in under another name. Is he still in here? And I want to thank both like W Aztec Princess W dot in the live. Okay, all right. He got two invitations to the block party. All right, he is the guest of honor. I want to thank both of these ladies for that. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We always say this is a judgment-free zone, and it is. But you have to be willing to understand. You've got to take your feelings out of it when it comes to these facts, right? And so now, when you come in, and the first thing you say is you try to negate that this country isn't in bad shape, and
Bro, what you mean? They're trying to turn this into Hunger Games. They're trying to turn this into what's that other movie that they The
the
Purge. They're
purge.
trying to what do you mean? Did you have you even read the books for Hunger Games? Like what they did and how they divided the factions like they're doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
Mm-hmm.
have to understand, first of all, you have to understand that we are living in a time where these people are terrified that they're losing control, that they're losing the narrative, that people are becoming more aware, especially because of genetics itself, that is telling people who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and having it be so cheaply and available, people are starting to wake up out of the lull of believing everything they say. And like I said yesterday, we as people have started to take away that privilege and idea that you're special somehow, because you're not. You're not. You're not
People stopped
even.
taking the blue pill and they started popping that
Yeah.
red one.
And so they're scared. They are scared and they're acting out of fear. And then they got this moron that's the leading charge in this whole thing, because anybody who has half a brain cell understand that this is a trust fund baby that has never done anything for himself other than take
Uh-huh.
advantage of people.
That's
And that
another
is
thing
why he
too. That's
hates,
another
that's why
thing
he
too.
hates Rosie
Aztec.
O'Donnell. He hates Rosie O'Donnell because she grew up with him and she called him out from the gate of who he was, because he was known for being nothing but a charlatan.
My thing is, and then I'm gonna be quiet after this. My thing is, if you're trying to negate and eliminate what this country was basically built on, immigration, right? Because that's what it's built on. Because like I said, it was more of your people that came here on boats than any other people.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, your mother and your father are immigrants, aren't they?
They're the only immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So the hate that you hate yourself. You hate yourself that much that you will go against everything that you should stand for just to make a point to show how YT you are.
Hmm. Sad.
Or
Disgusting, really.
being proud of being that is sad.
Yes.
But you're an immigrant, bro. You're an immigrant. You derive from it. You have that in your blood, that your bloodline. You are not a regular European American white man.
Hmm. Jenny says no. They want to choose who can come in and not what America has always stood for to let
Well, you know
everyone in.
what? They keep trying to
Hmm.
push everybody out of America. I say all black and brown people, we all band together and everybody leave America and leave them here to finish shit and watch how that goes into chaos.
Exactly.
Watch how they ain't gonna have nobody to farm. They already going crazy about the farming. Watch how they have nobody to build the buildings. Watch how it plummets. And then y'all gonna try and go to another land and conquer it and enslave another sector of people to do the work that you know nothing about doing.
I
And
agree
I
with
want
you
to make
fully.
a very important point here
Hmm.
that this is why this man in his last he was trying to be king.
Hmm.
He tried and he almost succeeding in divided the brown people and the black people. Why? Because he knows that if we band together, they're done. It's a
It's
done
over.
deal. Once
I
we
mean,
band
I'm happy
together,
that it's
it's done.
happening now, but imagine if it would have happened earlier on.
Yeah.
We've always been there together. We've always been there together. It's just that as you have to understand what I was saying yesterday is that as new people are being born and we're not passing the history to them, they're learning from the internet, from TikTok. They're learning the easy little bites and they're being defrauded of their heritage.
That's facts. That's why they're
No,
trying to erase everything.
what I'm saying when regarding to us banding together, I mean Hispanics, Indians, Africans, Americans, any type of people who can turn two different shades of color when the sun is out and when it's not should have been band together and we wouldn't be in the predicament because we outnumber them.
Yeah. I think if we was actually taught the correct history, we would have known that we are part of a lineage that has a beginning to it. You see what I'm saying? Whereas, and I forgot who I was talking to about this. I think it was a guest we had yesterday. But I was telling
Okay.
her when I was younger and we were coming up, growing up, they would always show Africa as a
Poverty.
impoverished, yes, in
Hmm.
poverty, and these kids who were malnourished and had flies flying around them, and it was like, man,
That ain't true.
it's so not. It's
Tell
so
the
it's
truth.
just not. It's just not, and
Now they
but
got some places in Africa who don't want to live amongst
yeah,
society the way that how we live, but they choose to live that way. They don't have to live that way.
they do not. And let me tell you, I'm still gonna find them, and I'll send them to you all. But let me let you all know something. Africa is beautiful. Yes, there are some tribes and pockets that do experience that they show on TV, but there's beaches that are majestic. There's landscapes that are just breathtaking. Right, so don't think that it's all woods and elephants and things like that running after you and eating you, and it ain't just all poor
Well, the way
people.
the economy going in the society and how it is, I take my chances with the people with the animals in the forest. Those people,
You are a fool. True, true, but
I could turn
you
a
know,
lion to a pet.
yeah,
We
yeah.
can eat together. These,
I
these things out here is something different. They trying to get rid of us altogether and make everything robotic.
They are. That's a true
They
statement, and
trying to
I
turn this
wish that
into
was
the
a joke.
Terminator for real, for real.
Well, again, how we always speak on how, and I got to end the show in a minute. I got to go to baby girl's Thanksgiving lunch at school. Um, you all remember how we say that TV shows and movies often depict what they're really doing, but they don't
What
want
they're
us
trying
to
to
know
do,
that.
what their agenda is. Yeah, the
Right,
human mind cannot fabricate anything that it has never seen before.
right. Now, do me a favor. Think back on and I think this may have been the '80s, either '80s or early '90s. But how many of you all remember this TV show called Small Wonders?
I remember.
Okay, okay. Aztec Princess. Remember the little girl? What was she?
She was a little robot. She was a little AI robot that looked human.
See, and that was in the '80s.
Yes, and that she wore a
Yeah,
little
Jimmy
white
said, yeah.
apron. She could do
Yes,
anything.
yes, yes.
Well, I don't want to be a robot because I
No,
don't
we
want to be
don't.
trapped in the same vessel for forever. I want my energy to be replenished and send me to the next realm or wherever I'm supposed to go. I don't want to be trapped.
Right, right. No, no. None of us want to be that. In fact,
No, some of them do. That's
I
why they
don't.
doing all these We don't.
I think they want to do that to be able to have more control. But I'm saying the reason why I brought that up, niece, is because they were already showing us in the '80s. And like, if you think about it now, in this modern time or this particular day, is when it's like AI is like so prominent now. Everybody's talking about AI, AI. When all actuality, of course, we didn't know anything about AI in the '90s, but in actuality, they were showing it to us right there every week in Small Wonders.
That Back to the Future.
Johnny Five,
Uh-huh.
you get me? So
Entertainment always tells us what's going to happen, which is terrifying if you look at what they're showing us is going to happen right now.
exactly, and Jenny said they are trying to steal our consciousness. Exactly.
Yes, they are to
Yes.
entrap us, to enslave us. No, no. I would be like, what's her name from Beloved, the mother in the
Oh yeah,
barn.
yes.
I
She
end
didn't
it
play
all
no
before I let
games.
you get me like that. I will
Yeah,
end it all, and I don't believe in unaliving yourself. I really don't. But before I let you get me, I will end it all
yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you all,
and
people.
deal with the repercussion of it afterwards with the higher power.
Absolutely. I got to get ready to close out the show. But to your point, niece, Aztec Princess, in the good book, it says we will come to this particular point in the final days, leading up to the King of
Human
Kings
versus,
return.
yes, it's gonna be man
Right?
versus machine.
Exactly.
It's gonna be man versus machine.
And remember, we got viewers in here, and I want to ask them. In the good book, it says that at some point in the last days of times, that you're gonna have to choose to either wear the mark of the beast or you're going to confess Jesus Christ to be the Son of God and be your Lord and Savior. If we are alive to get to that point, are you prepared to confess Jesus Christ is the King of Kings, the mighty, the majestic, and the matchless? Are you ready to do that? Understand, if you do, there's a grave chance that you may be put to death because you believe in that. So even though,
Well, let me pick my color of well, let me let me pick my plot because I ain't getting no mark. I'm
right,
not doing it.
nope,
And I
I don't.
have feelings about religious. I feel like Yes, it's certain things when it comes to Jesus, but Jesus is also people what they idolize. I idolize my higher power over Jesus, even though
Hmm.
he is the son. We are also his sons and daughters. He just
Yep,
had
that
more
part.
gifts and was able, and he the reason for why he was unalive was to help us.
Eh,
So
eh,
I put respect on his name about that, but
exactly.
I do not idolize Jesus. I idolize my higher power.
The Spirit. Yeah, the Holy Spirit. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. He even said that. Like, listen, if you believe in me and if you believe in my Father, then I go to prepare a place for you to dwell with me in my Father's kingdom.
The other thing you people have to understand, and it has to be clear, that when they claim to be Christians, they have to separate themselves from being Christian and being religious. Religion is
Hmm.
a man-made thing.
Hmm.
Jesus lived his life, he told us what to do, and if you live only by that book of what he told us to do, you're a Christian, you're a Christ follower. If you are living by whatever interpretation some king put together on the Bible or
Hmm.
any of the 33 different Bible variants that are out there, then you are not
Hmm.
a Christian. If
Hmm.
you're putting
Say it,
that
Aztec.
religion above human love, which is the
And
directive of our
decency.
Lord Jesus Christ was to love one another as you do yourself. If you're not
Hmm.
doing that, you are not a Christian. Don't offend me by claiming my religion, my beliefs, by saying you're Christian and embarrassing me with all your hatred and ignorance. No, you're religious. You
Say
belong
that.
to the man-made religion. I'm a Christian. I follow what Jesus said to the letter. I love my neighbor. I love everyone. I don't care what you look like because we all related. We are one. And what you have to know is that the Jesus taught us that the God is in us. We are
Hmm.
to be the
That's what
light.
Jenny said.
We
Hmm.
are stars.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We are
So
literally stars.
you
Hmm.
don't need, he didn't want you to worship him. He's a teacher. He taught you how to live.
Hmm.
So that's all you need to know is you follow him and follow his teaching, then you're a Christian. If you are doing anything else and just dressing up nice and not putting on makeup and trying to look a certain way, that he didn't care about that.
Nope.
That wasn't what he was teaching us.
Hmm.
If you are claiming to be Christian because you're somewhat pure in your eyes, that's not what it was. Because
No,
Jesus hung out with the low lives and the thieves and the prostitutes. Because you know what? Those are the people that
he
need
didn't
him most.
judge.
He did not.
He
He
did
did
not
not.
judge.
He loved
And
everyone.
let that be a message too, to those who may feel like they've fallen away or they're just swallowed up in sin. Just to remind y'all, Jesus left 99 sheep to come for the one. You're the one. You're the one. Do not think that you have fallen so far into sin that you cannot be forgiven by our Lord and Savior. But you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do your work. You
You
have
have to
to
repent
confess
every
that.
day
You
because we're gonna
exactly
sin every day. We sin
every
every
day.
day, so you have to repent. That's why I said I pray every morning and every night. I say my affirmations every morning and every night, and I meditate every
Hmm.
morning and every night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You all, we got to end the broadcast. I know we got off schedule, but I feel like this is sometimes this calling is more important. You see what I'm saying? We can't sit here and say that we're trying to enlighten or educate or uplift uh, society if we don't address these situations when they come up, right? Like this political and celebrity stuff, that's gonna be there. But we've got to get to the core things, and when someone comes in like that, you know, you tried to give him facts and he still was unruly. We'll just pray for him. We'll just pray for him. But I thank you all for being warriors and soldiers on that battlefield of trying to spread peace, trying to spread love, spread the gospel, right? And that's what these ladies did today. I see a lot of you in the live right now leaving comments, and you was doing the same thing. So I appreciate everybody. I want to give it up for all of us. I think we all deserve a round of applause for trying to
Absolutely.
give that work to the enemy, or to the devil. You see what I'm saying? So let me give it up to all of y'all.
Not trying. We did.
We did that. We did that, right? I don't know. Like I said before, and I continue saying this till I don't have any breath in my lungs. I've never desired to ride a horse. But when our soon coming King returns and brings his angels, when he comes for Armageddon, I want to be in his army on the white horse. That's what I want to be. I already told y'all, I got my name picked out. Redeemer. That's going to be my horse's name. You know? Let's all get there. We're all trying to make sure we're on that first heap going up, because none of us want to be here for the tribulation period.
Oh, put me on the battlefield. Put me on
Front
the
line.
battlefield.
Just
Front line.
remember,
Put me
it
on the
says in Revelations
battlefield.
that people are going to want to leave this world and they're not going to be able to leave this world.
Facts.
This is real. This is real. We have to
Facts.
have respect and love for each other. This is going to take us to the next place. We cannot let these devils take us the wrong way, because we are not willing to do a 5-minute Google check. Come on. Let's get it
Exactly.
together, people.
Right. Jenny says we're all imperfect and flawed souls. Exactly. And he knew that. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I don't understand certain people who play Christian. Like this, do you understand that he went into, I know. She's like, hey, I got it. I know. But do you not understand that mere moments before they came for Jesus Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane, he asked, if you will, let this cup pass from me. He knew what the mission was. He knew what he had to do. He knew why he was here. And even on the cross, when he was going through all of those heinous, painful things, he could have put an end to it. But he didn't. For us.
For us.
For us.
Ain't that something? And that's why I said I will get on the battlefield and be front line.
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's just the only thing to do. Like, it's, to me, I just don't see it no
Lead the
other way.
army and I shall follow.
That part right there, niece. That part right there, niece. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And whatever he commands us to do, we're willing to do. It's his will, not ours. You get that? Once again, thank you all for joining us for hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. Man, I love it when we get personal in here. I love it when we get intimate in here. I love it when we can take these moments and share them amongst our brothers and sisters, right? Whether they choose to accept it or anything like that, we can only pray that they will going forward. Before it's ever time and everlasting too late, pray that they get it. You know, we are by no means are we saying we are perfect. None of us up here say that we're perfect. However, we do know that we do have a path of forgiveness through the blood of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. So repent every day. Repent. Pray. Have your private moments with God. Talk to Him. It says, I think that, what was that I sent you, niece? John chapter. Was it 16:23? I can't remember which one it was. I think it's John
16:23.
16:23. Okay, John chapter 16:23. He says, you ask and I will give it to you.
You ask and you shall receive.
You shall receive. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's all it is. And if it's, look, if you don't get it, guess what? He knew it wasn't good for you. He still knew it wasn't good for you, right? Come on, y'all. Let's get this work in. Let's roll our sleeves up. Let's be the tangible hands and feet of the gospel. Let's go out here and share this.
Can I
Forgive,
add
but
something?
never
Can I
forget.
add something?
Yes, absolutely.
I would like people to understand that if you
Hold
are
on.
not
I'm gonna pause it so they can hear you.
if you are not somebody that has grown up like me in a Christian church and knows how to pray, do what I do. I treat Jesus, God, as my partner in crime every day. I wake up and I just talk to him as like a person that's sitting here. I will have conversations and say, God, I'm having this problem, that problem, or thank you for this thing or that thing. Just talk to the spirit. The spirit is there. You don't need to do all the fancy stuff. You don't need to get on your knees. Talk to the spirit. The spirit is alive.
Yes, it
Jesus is
is.
with you all the time.
Yes, it
Just
is.
talk to him. That's my co-pilot. I always say he's bossy. He don't put in for no gas, but he goes everywhere with me. Okay?
I
Easiest
like
things to
that.
say. The easiest things to say. I thank I thank you, higher power, every day for the air that I breathe, for the water I consume, for the food that nourish my body. And I thank you for waking me up every day because everyone does not get a second chance to wake up every morning. It's not given.
That right there. That
Mm-hmm.
If even if you
exactly.
just mention those things, that's your prayer to him and your worship and thanking him or
Mm-hmm.
her for
Yeah.
all
Mm-hmm.
that they have done.
That's it. That's it. It's simple as that. Like, I mean, he says it in the Bible. You get me? You can just have a talk with him. It's I think a lot of time people focus on structure
Yeah.
That's
and
what your
But you don't have to have
subconscious
it.
is. Your
But that's
subconscious is your creator. That's who you have the conversations with.
yeah.
I'm
Or
gonna
you
tell you that
yeah.
through faith when you don't worry no more. When you don't have worry no more. When you give up the worry because there is so many places in the Bible that it says, do not worry, because that's when you have true faith, because
Mm-hmm.
he's going to resolve it. If there's an issue or a problem, I say, God, you know what is going to go on. I don't know what you're up to, but it better be good because it's giving me a headache. I
That's
literally
right.
talk to the Lord like any other person because he is my father and he's with me every day. And I'm
That's
telling you,
true.
you don't have to do nothing fancy. Just talk. Talk and be grateful for your life and for the things that he is doing for you today. And there is nothing that you could do that would make him not love you because he loves you all day, every day. Because that spirit was the one that built you and made you.
Mm.
He knows every last hair on your head. He
Yep.
knows every last thought. So he knows if you're good or if you've done something wrong. All you have to do is admit it and ask him to guide you the right way. And when he guides you into something that's hard, that you're hurting, let him know it hurts, but I'm gonna trust you on it. I know it's gonna be good.
Facts.
The only reason
Facts.
why it hurts is because we didn't listen in the beginning when he told you the first time. That's why it hurts. He
Yeah, don't
need to
upset
take
him. 'Cause
accountability.
tells you to go, you go.
Yeah. It's
Take
just so
accountability. He tell you to go left, you go right. You can't be mad and say, "Oh God, why me?" Because
He
he
told
told you
you.
to go left. You chose
exactly.
to go right because you thought you knew better.
Yeah.
That's
Y'all are right.
that's right.
I appreciate that. Yep. Gonna close out the show. Tonight at 6 p.m. on Twitch TV. Go and follow MC3 SFT9 on Twitch TV at 6 p.m. and get ready for OCWA's Wednesday Night Wreckage. And that's right, your host morphs into a video game character and goes into the wrestling ring. Can't do it no more in real life. In reality, my body's all broken up from that. But in the video game, your host gets down. All right, so come and check us out. It's family, fun, entertainment. We ain't got to worry about nothing crazy going on. And if you come and you join in, hey, guess what? Myself and other wrestlers will be there, and we'll be interacting with you through the chat. So come and join us. It's something different. It's something fun. And let's be honest, in the state that our society is in now, we all can use some escape and have fun and get stuff off our minds, right? So please come and join us tonight. Wednesday Night Wreckage, OCWAs, that's Outlaw Championship Wrestling. Wednesday Night Wreckage. Hey, real quick, I keep forgetting to announce this. People, if you're struggling with anything, if you feel like you got to go through it by yourself and you have nowhere to turn to, and you are contemplating an ending that you can't come back from, please dial 988. Dial 988. And if you want to come here to our platform, the hashtag I'm going to say it, and put it here, we will come together and try to help you as best we can. Remember, people, you could be anything in the world. Be somebody. I love you all to life. Peace and blessings.